Hi guys, you're on vrm24.com and today we will disassemble and change the battery on the Samsung Galaxy Watch SM-R810. First of all, we need to unscrew the screws that hold the back cover in place. To do this, we use a 3-wing 1.5mm screwdriver or Y2O. We need to unscrew 4 screws. The screws can get stuck in the back cover, so we can additionally use tweezers to take them out. And carefully unscrew the screws and place them on a table or special prepared surface. We move on to open the back cover. For this we use a plastic film. The back cover is not glued and it is not attached to the front case much, so we just need to run the film into the hole between the cover and the front case and go along the edge. Now we can leave the cover and disconnect the connector of the heart rate sensor cable on the motherboard. Leave the cover carefully and disconnect the connector. It is best to use a non-metallic tool. The back cover is removed and now we can disconnect the connectors to take out the bracket. We can also unscrew one screw securing the motherboard. For this we use a Phillips 1.5mm or #3O screwdriver. And using tweezers gently pry the bracket to remove it. Pay attention to the display cable and the connector which go through the hole in the bracket. We must be careful not to damage them. Carefully remove the bracket with the battery and the motherboard. We have one more screw on the back side. We use a Phillips 1.5mm or #3O screwdriver. Then we need to disconnect the side buttons, which are fixed on small plastic pins. And the motherboard has fallen out on its own. Now we need to detach the contact pad of the battery. It has a small hole like a needle eye that holds the small plastic pin. And we move on to detaching the battery. Gently pry it up and lift it off. The battery isn't glued much, but it is all the way around the edge of the battery. We remove the battery. After that, we need to make sure that the new battery looks the same as the original battery. Everything can happen. So we peel off the old tape, carefully go along, clean the surface, because we will need to glue new tape in this area. And we move on to glue the new tape to the bed to attach the battery. To do this, we use scissors and 3M double-sided adhesive tape. We cut small pieces, measure cut off the excess and glue it on. We are not removing the top protective layer of the double-sided adhesive tape yet. And now we need to glue the top strip. And we can peel off the protective layer of the two strips to glue the top strip. Try not to get dust on the adhesive surface. And we peel off the protective layer of the remaining two strips of tape. To be honest, this work takes a lot of time. It is quite painstaking and requires patience and attentiveness. Now we look at the batteries and the location of the cables. Carefully insert the battery into the seat of the bracket. We look at the position of the cable, and as we can see, the non-original battery cable is made a little differently, so we need to place it in such a way that it takes the right shape and not to damage it. Also, the hole in the battery contact pad is a little smaller than in the original battery, and we can get it on the pin that holds the pad in place. So we need to widen the hole, and we did that with a tweezer's tip. The main thing here is not to be in a hurry. This job requires a lot of attention and care, because we must not damage the pad or the cable. And we can attach the motherboard to the bracket. Carefully we attach it to the bracket. Remember that the battery has spring contacts, and once we have attached the motherboard, it is powered by the battery. Currents flows through it, and I hope you understand, short circuit might happen. So you have to be careful. We attach the side buttons. We connect one of the connectors. Then we clean the surface of the front case edge from the dust particles. After that, we screw in the screws that hold the battery and motherboard to the bracket. We use Phillips 1.5mm or #3O screwdriver and screw in 2 screws on both sides. Now we need to insert the bracket into the front case. Slip the display cable through the hole in the bracket. Carefully slide the bracket into the seat and check. connect the display connector. After that, we clean the surface of the back cover edges. We use an ordinary toothbrush. We scrape away any dust, dirt, old glue and sealant if they were there. We also use an isopropyl alcohol to remove any dust residue on the edges. We spray it on a rag and wipe the edges. It is best, of course, to get the dust and dirt out wherever you can reach it. Now we will apply B7000 sealant to the edges of the back cover to protect the device from dust or liquid getting inside the watch. We didn't have the back cover glued on, but we try to always use sealant for these devices. It is highly not recommended to use regular or quick drying glues for plastic or metal, because after such gluing it will be extremely difficult to detach the back cover again. Carefully apply the sealant and make sure that it doesn't penetrate anywhere other than the edges of the back cover. So we have applied the sealant and we need to attach the back cover to the front case. But first we have to connect the heart rate sensor connector to the motherboard. And we can close the back cover. Don't forget that there is a sealant on the edges of the back cover. We can move on to screwing in the screws. We use the 3-win 1.5 mm or Y20 screwdriver. I think for this job we can use Phillips 2.mm or 3-win 2.mm, but remember that we used all 1.5 mm screwdrivers. After that, we can clean off any remaining sealant if it has come through the cover, and we can check the watch to make sure that we have assembled everything correctly, that the battery works. We turn it on and wait for the logo to appear. The logo appears and we can put watch on the charger and make sure that the watch is charging. So the watch responds to the charger, the watch turns on, the buttons, display and the battery are working. So the repair was successful. Okay guys, now we're done. Thank you for watching. If you like what we do, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel or read our articles on our website. Take care of yourself and until next video.
All I need are some better days, 'cause all I want, and I pray, I believe in the better days.